Dear all, Autism Learning Materials Supermarket is an autism community project implemented by NBAI, AI for Autism, Job4autism and Mr. Duong Lam to provide authentic and updated 24/7 documents thanks to artificial intelligence for parents with children with autism and related disorders, specialized teachers, inclusive teachers, and therapists. Today, we would like to introduce video N24, the Golden Stage Autism Intervention.
Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're jumping into a topic that's, well, incredibly important for any family navigating a new autism diagnosis. We're talking about how to build the most effective support system for your child. I know it can feel like a huge, overwhelming world, but trust me, there's a clear, science-backed path forward. So, let's just tackle the big question head on, the one that so many parents and caregivers are asking. After a diagnosis, you're suddenly looking at this whole new world of therapies, different approaches, and a ton of information. The biggest question of all is, where do you even start? How do you build a plan that's actually going to help your child truly, genuinely thrive? Okay, before we get into any of the specifics, we have to get our mindset right. It is so important to frame the goal correctly. You know, the whole point of intervention isn't about trying to cure or change who a child is. It's about empowerment. It's about giving them the tools and the support they need to reach their absolute fullest potential, to become as independent and integrated as possible. And the time to start is right now. You might be wondering, why the urgency? Well, get this. An incredible 90% of your child's brain development happens by the time they're 3 years old. This creates this amazing window where the brain is super flexible and ready to learn, which makes early, targeted support just incredibly powerful. And that leads us right into our first big idea, what we call the golden stage. Now, this isn't just a catchy phrase. It really refers to that critical period in early development when the brain is most receptive to learning and building new connections. It's prime time for intervention. So, the big question is, how do we make the most of this golden stage? Well, the answer isn't about finding one single magic bullet therapy. It's about building a whole system of support. It's all about using an integrated and, just as importantly, a proven approach. Okay, so let's break that down. First, integrated therapy. This just means we're not putting all our eggs in one basket. Instead, we're building a personalized toolkit for your child. Think about it. One therapy might focus on communication, while another helps with motor skills. When you put them together, they actually start working with each other, creating this powerful synergistic effect that helps the whole child. And now for that second part, proven. We want to fill that toolkit with what are called evidence-based interventions, or EBIs for short. These are the therapies you've probably heard of, things like ABA or DIR/floor time, that have been seriously studied and scientifically shown to get positive results. This is all about making sure that your family's precious time, your energy, and your resources are being used in the absolute best way possible. In this chart, it just lays it all out perfectly. You know, a single therapy approach is kind of like trying to build a house, but you only have a hammer. Yeah, you might get one part done, but you're leaving all these other crucial things completely untouched. The integrated approach, on the other hand, brings the whole toolbox. It tackles multiple areas at once for that comprehensive, whole-person growth we're looking for. So what does this actually look like in real life, day to day? Let's walk through a couple of practical examples of what these integrated therapy packages look like, first for what you can do at home, and then for the school environment. Okay, so during that crucial golden stage, from birth to about age 3, the focus is almost always right at home, and it's often led by you, the parents. So let's look at a really powerful package that's all about building connection and interaction. So what we're looking at here is a mix of DIR/floor time, which is all about building relationships, and traditional speech therapy. The goal isn't just to get your child to say more words. It's about deepening that emotional connection, fostering that back and forth social interaction. And here's the key. It's led by parents, embedding these strategies right into your everyday life. And what's so amazing about this is just how simple and natural it can feel. This is not about sitting at a table doing rigid drills. It's about getting down on the floor, joining your child in their world, and using what they're already interested in as the launchpad for communication. Just following their lead and narrating what they're doing, like, wow, you're pouring the water. That helps build that shared attention that is so vital for all other learning. Okay, so what happens when your child starts heading off to preschool or kindergarten? Well, their world gets a lot bigger, and a different set of integrated therapies is needed to support them in a classroom with a focus on inclusion and getting them ready for academics. So, in this setting, the package often mixes applied behavior analysis, or ABA, right into the classroom, usually along with a lot of visual supports. The goal kind of shifts here. It's more about helping the child succeed in that structured setting, improving their attention, being able to follow directions, and learning those early academic skills. And let me tell you, this is a team sport. It absolutely has to have that seamless collaboration between teachers, therapists, and parents. And check out these examples. They're brilliant. Something as simple as a picture schedule can make a world of difference. It makes the day predictable, which can dramatically reduce a child's anxiety around transitions. And for learning something specific, like letters, a teacher might use a structured technique from ABA called DTT, where they break the skill into tiny steps and use lots of praise and positive reinforcement to build confidence and success. All right, let's shift gears and talk about something really exciting, the future. Let's look at how modern technology is completely changing the game here, making integrated therapy more effective, more accessible, and way more data-driven than it's ever been. Building great therapy tech isn't just about some coders in a dark room. It's a deep, collaborative process. It all starts with discovery, where therapists on the ground say, hey, we really need a tool that does this. Then comes design, where those same therapists guide the tech team to make sure the app or program is actually useful and clinically sound. After that, it's validation, testing it out with kids, getting feedback, and making it better. And only then is it deployed, with both teams constantly looking at the data to make both the tech and the therapy itself even better. Okay, to really see how powerful this is, let's talk about a real kid. Meet Anne. He's 4 years old, diagnosed with moderate autism, and he was having some challenges with communication and a few key life skills. So Anne's team put together a tech-integrated solution just for him. To help with communication and to track behaviors like hand flapping, they used an app with digital picture cards. For toilet training, they used a social story and a visual schedule, all within that same app. And check out these results after just 3 months. A 30% reduction in hand flapping, and he started using the toilet independently twice a week. This just goes to show how tech can tie a whole plan together and give you clear, hard data on what's working. So we've talked about the golden stage, we've talked about integrated, evidence-based therapies, and we've seen the role tech can play. So, how do we wrap this all up into a formal, personalized roadmap for a child? The key is a dynamic process, which is often formalized in what's called an individualized education program, or an IEP. It all kicks off with an assessment to figure out a child's unique strengths and needs. Then the whole team works together to set SMART goals that's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. From there, they select and integrate the right evidence-based therapies to hit those goals. Then you implement the plan and track the data. And finally, and this is so important, the team constantly reviews and adjusts. This is not a set-it-and-forget-it kind of thing. It grows and changes right along with your child. And that really brings us full circle, right back to where we started. It's so important to remember the ultimate goal here. It's not about trying to change who a person is. It's about supporting them in building the skills they need for social integration, for communication, and for the absolute greatest degree of independence they can achieve, so they can lead a full, happy, and meaningful life. So we want to leave you with this thought. Every single child is unique, which means every single path is going to be unique. The principles we talked about, starting early, using evidence-based therapies, and integrating them, those are your building blocks. The final question isn't if there's a path forward, but what does the right, personalized, integrated path look like for your child?
Autism Learning Material Supermarket would like to thank parents, teachers, and interventionists. Please disseminate to relevant people in the autism community so that more and more people can access this authentic and scientific learning resource. To raise awareness in the community, please subscribe to watch the next videos. For any questions, please contact the email below.